Hey guys, I'm Samantha. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, and welcome back if you are returning. I am here to do a 20 questions book tag. I am not sure who the original creator is of this. I'll try to have the link linked in the description box below. But I'm going to go ahead with these 20 questions. The first being, how many books is too many books in a book series? Honestly, probably anything more than 10, in my opinion, is a little too much, but I don't tend to really enjoy super long series all that much because I get kind of lost after a while and bored, so Harry. So he doesn't knock my camera around. How do you feel about cliffhangers? I am kind of in the middle about it sometimes, and if they're done well, I enjoy them. If not, then I just find them irritating, but I don't really have any super big feelings about them. Hard copy or paperback? Usually paperback because I am cheap, and I'd rather spend less on for a paperback and have more space for books on my shelves. But if I do end up getting a hardback for pretty cheap, I'm pretty happy about it as well. But most of the time I tend to gravitate towards paperbacks because I also like the floppiness of some paperbacks as well. Favorite book? I would have to say Deathly Hallows. Even though the author is really problematic, it's still my favorite book of just the series, and just in general, it's hard to kind of let go of that since I've read it so many times. But other than that, my favorite book recently has been the Crescent City books, especially the first one mostly. I enjoyed the second one, but not as much as the first. Least favorite book? If you're new to this channel, it'll be Twilight. If you're not new, you're not surprised. Love triangles, yes or no? If they're handled well. I don't really care for the triangle part per se, only because of the way that the drama it can concur. If it's a poly relationship, then I don't mind if it's through more people. What? But yeah, love triangles, if when it's handled well, I don't mind it, but most of the time I don't really care for them. The most recent book you just couldn't finish? Ugh. Don't remember, honestly. I don't remember the title or the name. I'll have the cover up here, but it's one that I have a copy of that I just couldn't get into, so I ended up DNFing it. A book that you are currently reading? Well, one that I had just read a little bit ago in my morning routine is Moonology by Yasmin Boland. This is the same author who created the Moonology Oracle deck that I use a lot in the Tarot TBR, so I have been reading this as part of my practice, so I've been enjoying that. Last book you recommended to someone? I'm not sure. I'm terrible when it comes to remembering because I talk about so many books with so many people, just throwing out ideas of what people might like, so I'm not entirely too sure on that one. Oldest book that I've read? Probably the Bible. I've read that a couple of years ago, but yeah, I would probably say that's probably the oldest one. And the newest book that I've read, most recently, is probably A Mirror Mended by Alex E. Harrow. Favorite author? Currently, I would have to say it's a toss-up between Sarah J. Maas and Jennifer L. Armentrout as newer favorite authors. well, I can't really say Jennifer because I've only read the one series, but then if I'm going with like oldest favorite author would be Tamora Pierce. I love her series. Like, she does a really good job of working, like, making sure young girls have a someone they can look find themselves in the fantasy series a lot, especially with her Protector of the Small series. That's how I got into reading fantasies. It was through that series, and I really enjoyed it. Buying books or borrowing books? As much as I would like to have all the books, I live in a kind of a small house with another person, so I borrow books more of the time. But if I enjoy a book, and since I'm a big rereader, if I enjoy a book that I borrowed, I try to buy my own copy of it. A book you dislike that everyone else seems to love? Twilight. Not everybody, but well, most recently the Crave series by Tracy Wolff. My friends really love that series, but I gave the first book a 2 stars, and I don't really plan on continuing the series if I don't have to. So I will have to say that. Bookmarks or dog ears? Bookmarks for sure. I only dog ear in nonfiction books whenever I want to, like, use that as a reference, and even then I don't tend to do that because it damages the pages too much. A book you can always reread? It would be the Harry Potter series. I always can reread those. They're super easy, especially if I want to just escape from reality for a little bit. I tend to reread them. Can you read while hearing music? Yes. It just depends on the music. If it's kind of like lo-fi music and with no lyrics and stuff like that, for sure. But if it's like my everyday stuff that I blare when I'm on my way to work, probably not, because I'll probably be too distracted humming or singing along with the song. One POV or multiple POVs? I tend to enjoy just one POV most of the time, because once you get to a certain number of POVs, it starts to get a little confusing, and I can forget easily who is actually talking at the moment, so I prefer single POV. Do you read a book in one sitting or over multiple days? Depends on the book. Sometimes I can read a graphic novel in one sitting, depending on how engaged I am in it. But most of the time I just read in over multiple days, because I have a few books on the go, and I do have a day job, so I have to get up and do that, along with taking care of household stuff with the cats and my husband. So, but yeah, multiple days for sure. And who do I tag? I'll just say all my bookish friends. I'll leave in the tags below. Definitely I want to include them and get their answers for these questions. If you have any responses to these questions, let me know in the comments down below, and like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to keep up to date with any videos that come out in the future. And until next time, guys, bye.